We actually have a lot of the talent from the film returning into the game. The main character of Wesley, we have the likeness of James McAvoy, and the story continues immediately after the conclusion of the film. He goes seeking answers about the fraternity that he's just destroyed, and seeking these answers leads him to cross paths with Pekwarski, played by Terrence Stamp, who was also in the film.
He was kind of an enigma. Like when you first meet him, he's quite mysterious. You just assume he's one of the villains, and then he turns out to be this guardian angel.
So what you actually do when you play the game is you play Wesley. He is a super assassin who can move swiftly and react, the flick of a switch. Boom. And then you have flashbacks where you play his father.
Cross used to be the best assassin in Fraternity.
He has all these super heavy guns, he got the cool abilities, he can curve 2 bullets into one so they collide and explode. There's a lot more playable characters than Wesley and Cross in this game.
The enemies in the game are taking inspiration from the movie and from the comic.
We wanted to have some really diversified and exotic-looking enemies.
The character I play in the game, Bromel, is definitely the master of what he does. I came for the Loom, not for you, but now I'm gonna kill you, just for fun and a laugh.
The French fraternity is led by this character who's called the Immortal.
It's such a nasty badass.
We obviously couldn't make the game without having our own sexy female assassins, so we introduced the character of Aranya.
Aranya!
She's a very sneaky, stylish woman.
So it's Paz Vega. She's from Spain.
I love to play bad girls. It's fun. And this Aranya, she's great because she's very strong and sarcastic.
So she's the perfect enemy. You love to hate her.
It's the homage to the film, and there's like this nice little tension between Wesley and her, and they have a pretty cool battle scene.
So I think, for me, the most interesting aspect of Wanted is the ability to play as a character who's genuinely unique and not like any other character you've seen before or played in a game before. But most importantly, it's a super fun game to play. When you have great source material, it gives you a huge world in which to play in, and we really went for it. We bring in a lot of elements from both the movie as well as the comic book. So if you're a fan of the movie and you pick up the game, there's a lot there for you to really enjoy. If you were just a fan of the comic book originally, I think you'll find lots of elements within Wanted that you'll immediately identify as that Mark Millar influence.
The big thing with the comic book is the fuck you attitude that he has.
What we try to do is sort of take elements from the comic book, such as the suit, which is very iconic. It's even on the cover of our box.
He's called the Killer, and in the game, you can unlock that and play it as both Cross and as Wesley. I think the video game is a very cool bridge between the movie and the comic. There's a lot of crossover, a lot of little cool details that hardcore fans will look at and I think be excited about.
The first thing we did was throw ourselves into the comic books and go through them, and then actually going to the set of the movie and just find inspiration from there.
We had a lot of discussions with the director and talked to the actors, and we were able to see all the different environments. It was really cool.
So when you are given that kind of leeway and that kind of freedom to, grab at all parts of the background, you really can come up with tremendous stuff. And I think players who play the game will see all those elements within it.
We looked at the film and saw great aspects of the game with bullet curving and the storyline and its rich universe, so we really wanted to dive into that and really expand on that to make it a very unique gameplay experience.
We have a lot of game mechanics that someone who's a fan of the film are going to immediately recognize. The most obvious example is curved bullets. An assassin is able to curve a bullet around objects or around corners to hit their target. And so we've taken that mechanic and actually allowed the player to determine the curved trajectory of a bullet so that he can shoot around columns or shoot around corners.
It's not just linked to one enemy. You can take out 3, possibly 4. When you can actually kill 4 enemies at once with a curve shot, it's one of the most satisfying things in the game. What also you can do is actually you can curve and hit objects, explosive objects like barrels and fire extinguishers, and it explodes and takes out enemies.
The whole arena is actually a puzzle where you can choose different paths using this cover chaining.
One thing that's actually innovative is the cover stabbing. So you can actually do close combat moves in cover. It's cool because it motivates you to sort of rush your enemies and get really, really close and personal.
You can pretty much slide over everything, jump over anything. You can actually stab enemies around cover.
You've never seen a bullet curving game. You have never seen cover done in the way that we do cover, and I think that those elements really sort of push the innovative side. And it's really important, because if you're going to do movie-based games, you have to push the envelope and do things that haven't been done in other games.